Meantime, a major copper country employer is planning a multi-million-dollar upgrade. It will build a factory that is the first of its kind in the United States.
And now Calumet Electronics just announced a $51 million investment. And TV6's Houghton Hancock Bureau reporter Colin Jackson talked to company executives about their plans.
A new era of production is coming to Calumet Electronics. The Michigan Strategic Fund Board announced the company will be receiving a $7.5 million grant for future mass production of organic substrates. Those are base materials used in semiconductors, which are found in a variety of technologies.
We are currently building organic substrates at prototype levels for defense and commercial applications. The goal of the investment is to scale this up and to do even more advanced technology than what we are currently building.
According to the company's chief R&D engineer, prototypes have been in production for the past few years. The investment includes the construction of a 60,000 square foot package substrate facility on the Calumet Electronics campus. According to the company, this expansion is being made in response to the needs of the Department of Defense, as well as the defense goals of the state.
Michigan wants to play a role in national defense. Michigan wants to play a role in semiconductors, and we are an interesting intersection where we are making products for the semiconductor ecosystem that will be heavily used in defense.
270 jobs will be retained for standard production, with 40 getting special training to manufacture the new substrate products. This will take place over the next 3 years as the company scales its substrate production.
We want to get into building next generation technologies. That means upskilling of workers, it means new job opportunities, new categories of growth, and it's pretty safe to say that semiconductors and electronics will be a growth industry for decades to come.
The company also notes this investment could provide career opportunities for students and encourages them to look into them. Colin Jackson, TV6 News, Calumet.
Thank you, Colin.